Welcome to the Wayne Breezie channel, host of the Wayne Breezie Show. I'm here to deliver to you great NFL content. You see the team, hit that sub button and tune in. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Wayne Breezie, and welcome once again to the Wayne Breezie Show, live and kicking back in my studio, right? Back in my studio, not on the road. Internet connection, wired, you know what I'm saying? Shouldn't be any hiccups on this beautiful snowy day out here on the East Coast. Shout out to everybody. Make sure you hit that like button, and don't forget, man, if you're new, if this is your first time watching the channel, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I got all kind of content that I'm putting out here, whether it's static videos, reels, all that good stuff. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure your alerts are set to all and have them on so that way you don't miss anything that's going down, because your boy is going to be breaking it down for you guys out there, all right? And you can subscribe to the podcast as well if you're listening to the live Wayne Breezie Show. Thank you, and shout out to the podcast listeners out there. Thank you for pushing the Wayne Breezie Show and putting it up in one of the top 49ers podcasts, man. I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. All right. So don't forget. And if you want to support the stream right here on the YouTube channel, all you got to do is click the join button. Shout out to everybody that's watching live on Facebook, Twitch, as well as X, man. I appreciate you guys. And last and certainly not least, we're powered by Residency. That's the partnership right here that helps sponsor this show. So go ahead and check out Residency. Go to www.residency.com. You know, I always try to rock one of the Residency hats. You know what I'm saying? Still waiting on the fitted caps from Residency. I know a lot of people want to wear fitted caps. Still waiting on that. I'm sure they'll come very soon. But shout out to them. Use that promo code SFBreezy and you can save on your total purchase. The Breezy Bunch crew is alive and kicking. I see you guys out there. My man JP Hella Hard 2800. Myles Garrett, huh? Oh, we gonna talk about it, baby. Boats is in the building. Says, hope everybody's having a great day. I like your take on Myles Garrett. Jax Knox is in there. Hello, Wayne and Faithful. Have a great show. Hope everyone is doing well on this beautiful Monday. Make sure you like, subscribe, and join the Breezy Bunch. That's how you support Wayne's channel. I appreciate that, Jax. Thank you. Eddie G in the B-Dogs live in the building. What's going on, Faithful, man? Appreciate you. And all the Breezy Bunch members out there. That's crazy because everybody that's watching the show right now are members. Is this show like not street? Is it this members only show? I don't know if I set it up as a members only show. I don't believe that I did. Hopefully people will join in on the live show or whatnot. But listen, a lot to get to on today's episode. You know, a lot of stuff is going down. You know, we got the Myles Garrett stuff happening, and you got, you know, T.O. putting out stuff. It's, you know what? It's Super Bowl week. I think it being Super Bowl week, That's saying something. And I know you don't care. I don't care about who wins. I think at this point, I'm a person that just want both teams to lose. I'm not really rooting for a team. I'm there to watch the game and all the festivities that's going to be around the Super Bowl. But just quick live, who do you got winning in this game? Is it the Kansas City Chiefs, or is it going to be the Philadelphia Eagles? Is Philly going to take it this time? Is it going to be Kansas City Chiefs, man? Let me know what you guys think in the live comment section. If you're watching the show, go ahead and put it in the comment section. Let me know what you think. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. You know, Jack says the Eagles. Now, I don't want any team to win. You know what I mean? But if I had to root for a team, it's tough rooting for a team that's in the same conference. I'm not that type of a person because I feel like we should be representing the NFC. And so it's tough for me to root for that, root for a team that's representing the conference. And, you know, I can't root for the Chiefs either. But, you know, hopefully the Eagles do find a way to get the job done. You know what I'm saying? Bo says, forget KC and Philly. The NFL wins and the fans lose. My man Derek Thomas over on Facebook says Kansas City is going to win. You know, Jack says, I don't think the Chiefs can stop Barkley. They probably well, the Chiefs have a pretty good run defense. You know what I mean? They might not be able to stop Barkley. You know, the Chiefs, they just can't let Barkley score off the big explosive runs. I think they got to make, Saquon earn every inch. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Earn every inch. Now, former 49ers Hall of Fame wide receiver Terrell Owens, put out there, he was on the podcast with Cameron, and, he put out there that he feels the NFL is rigged. And he played the game, and he talked about it. He says, especially with the Chiefs, he says he feels like the referees, you know what I'm saying? The referees are doing whatever. Let's go in and take a listen to what he had to say.
With all the calls,
say the refs.
I've been
talking about the refs too. They niggas acting like they can't handle.
Bro, it's crazy because I played the game and I'm watching the game and I'm looking at all these calls that that's benefiting the Kansas City Chiefs. Look at the game before against the Texans, bro. Mahomes is smart. He dinking around. He causing the flag. You know what I mean? He's getting the benefit of it. He didn't even get hit. 15-yard flag. The guy, Will Anderson, barely hit him. That can stop the momentum of the game.
Yeah.
At that point in time, the Houston Texans were in the game. Those calls right there advances them, gives them extra downs. It changed the whole complexity of the game.
Do you think this has been going on all season with Kansas City or just as recently? With the referees.
You can even go back to the last couple of Super Bowl, even when the Niners played the Super Bowl. Look at all the holding calls. If you watch that tape, bro, it was crazy. They were getting clotheslined, and they were not calling it, bro. It is blatant calls that were missed, like
That's
obvious.
the word I've been looking for, blatant. Shit is blatant, man.
Bro, it's blatant and obvious. Like it's unreal. And I've never thought. I've texted him. I'm like, I never thought I would say that. I thought games were rigged or somebody got some plays in it. Bro, it is unreal at the amount of calls that are not called against the Kansas City Chiefs that are called against everybody else.
All right, let's have the conversation, right? Because I always say that there's a script, right? I've been saying it. People don't like it when I hit with the conspiracy because some things just don't make sense when it comes to the Kansas City, when it comes to playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. I remember years. I guess this is why a lot of people don't like Tom Brady and the New England Patriots and their Super Bowl run. And so, maybe the word rigged is a bad word. You know what I'm saying? I see Boat says he feels that it's manipulated, not rigged. I feel like it's the same thing. I know rigged has a more, has a more serious, demeanor to it because of the word, but manipulated, fixed, manipulated, rigged, they all synonyms at this point, and so I feel like when it comes to NFL, the number one objective for the NFL is to what? Make money. The number one objective is to make money. Why? Because it's entertainment. The NFL is the number one entertainment source of entertainment probably in the world, especially when it comes to sports. If I'm not mistaken, it's the NFL, it's WWE. They kind of on that same page. I feel like the NFL took pages out of the Vince McMahon book. When you got to go back to when wrestling was real, right? Like when we thought growing up, wrestling was real. Like, you know what I'm saying? You couldn't tell us that there were scripts and that they were paid actors. I thought they were really, whatever. I'm sorry. I hope, I hope I didn't spoil anything for anybody out there that watches wrestling, but we understand that now, and it's still kind of like a hard pill to swallow, but I feel like the NFL is in that same boat. You know what I'm saying? Now, Jax asked, was I going to be doing the Super Bowl, the Madden Super Bowl? Yes, I will be doing that this week, probably this upcoming Thursday, it being Super Bowl week, so I'll probably get into that for sure. But when you think about the NFL, you go back to those Niner Super Bowls, I think the reason why Niner fans are so bitter and the reason why the hatred has grown so deeply for the Kansas City Chiefs is simply because there were several times where Nick Bosa was held and the call and we talk about blatant holds. You saw it in the little video, you saw it in the picture. We're talking blatant holding calls up around the neck area, in the shoulder pads. And the crazy thing is at that moment then They were like the number one holding team in the league, and they got 0 holds that whole Super Bowl. And see, stuff like that just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And you know what? You want to go more recent? That was the first Super Bowl. You want to go more recent? Super Bowl 58? Let's go to Super Bowl 58. Because you remember in that game in Super Bowl 58, and this is not me being, I'm over it. But go back to that game. Remember when the officials were just calling flags on the 49ers? Remember that? Remember Trent Williams got a crazy holding call or some bullcrap? And Kyle Shanahan said, okay, if you're going to do that, make sure you look the other way and call it both ways. You didn't see one more call, did you? Like, Kyle had to check the officials. Go back and watch it. I promise you, Kyle had to check the officials 1,000%. Now, Jax is out there. Shout out to Jax. We got to show Jax some love on this morning. She gets the touchdown, the foghorn. She is literally gifting memberships out there to become members of the Breezy Bunch crew. Now, if you became a member because of Jax, please go ahead and let us know. Make sure you thank her as well. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and give her some love. Show her some love. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Jax, for gifting memberships. I see you gifted 2 memberships out there. Truly appreciate that. Thank you for helping to support the channel right here. And if anybody else wants to gift memberships, be my guest, or just go ahead and click on the join button and join. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all love at the end of the day. Become a member of the Breezy Bunch crew. All right. Now, it's a tough conversation to have because a lot of us love football. Like, there are so many things that happen in the NFL to where, we probably should have boycotted so many different types of things, and we just decided not to. You know what I'm saying? We decided not to. Initially, our emotions, our feelings, they get involved. But I think, if you've been watching football for, 30 plus years, you are heavily invested. You're endowed in the game, the doctrine of the NFL, and you watch it and you accept the changes that come along with it. And I think deep down in the back of your mind, you'd be like, all right, man, this is scripted. So with that being said, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to have to play a hell of a game. And, defensively, I truly believe that the Eagles have the better defense. They have the better defense. They have the rotation. They have the defensive front. Now they are dealing with injuries at the linebacking spot, and I think that is where Patrick Mahomes is going to take advantage. That's where Travis Kelce is going to feast. The last time Travis Kelce played against Oren Burks, we know how that happened, and guess where it was? In the Super Bowl. So Oren Burks gets a shot. Former 49ers linebacker Oren Burks gets a shot again at Travis Kelce. It'll be part 2. I'm surprised people people aren't really picking up on that. You know what I mean? I'm surprised. Very surprised. Tanisha, what's going on? She says, favorite penalty calls change the trajectory of games. This is what Cameron and Terrell Owens were saying. Terrell Owens was saying that. He says, everything has a cause and effect. It throws off the momentum. It is a deliberate shift in the energy. Repeat that. Write that down. It's a deliberate shift in the energy. I always say that officials are there to manage the game, but they also control the game. Now, I'm a firm believer. That's why, you know what? And that's why I love the players. I love the players because the players never, ever blame the refs. You know why? Because they're not watching it. They're playing it. And I get it. And I respect it. And I think it's honorable. Or maybe it's told that they can't. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I love the players because they never, ever say it's the refs. They always say, we got to stop putting ourselves in situations. We got to capitalize off of opportunities. We got to do this. We got to do that. I love that about the players. Doesn't mean that what we're talking about right now isn't happening. Eddie G and the Bulldog says they have already thrown a flag on Philly. Like I've never seen. All right, here's how we know. Pay attention, right? If we see a flag on a tush push attempt, it's rigged. I've never seen a flag on a tush push attempt. I've never, ever seen a flag on a tush push attempt. Now, I understand it's being run. Cam Jurgens, I think, is out there running, but I've never seen the refs throw a flag on a tush push attempt. You know what I'm saying? I want to shout out Beast J Skurlocks, not a member, but definitely a subscriber. Says, yo, bang, fan of the show. First time live, though. Keep doing your thing, Wayne. Can we show him some love? It's his first time live, man. Let's give him the ear horns First time live. Hope you subscribe to the channel, man. Appreciate you, dog. 1000%. But football, I don't want to live on the edge of saying it's rigged, even though in the back of my mind it ain't. It's not right. It's not right. And again, if you go back to the last dynasty in the NFL, the last team that was a dynasty, who was that team? Who was that team? It was the New England Patriots. Antoine from Facebook says they'll get fined if they say. I know. I understand that. But if you look at the players, they really feel like they be having opportunities to get stuff done. And they fail the opportunities. Every time I watch a game, I don't sit there and blame the refs, even though I'm mad at the refs, but I'm not going to blame the refs. There's certain penalties you can't blame the refs for, right? You can't blame the refs for false starts if the team false starts. Now, subjective penalties, those ones where like you're talking the holding calls, the personal fouls, all right, that's one thing. But, they got a job. I think they get a script and they follow the script. And I think there are some players out there that don't know about the script and they mess up the script. Perfect example. You ready? Perfect example. You ready? 2007, Patriots versus Giants. Super Bowl. I don't remember the number because there's so many of them. We on 59 right now, but I can't remember what that year was, that Super Bowl. I just know it was in 2007, okay? Eli Manning. Now help me out because I was under the impression that the NFL was trying to protect the quarterback. Eli Manning drops back. This play right here alone that I'm about to describe is the reason why Eli Manning is going into the Hall of Fame this year. You ready? This one play. All right. Eli Manning drops back. I promise you, if you go back and watch it, you're going to see Eli Manning literally grabbed by at least minimum two giant players where they literally are pulling him down to the ground. He keeps and somehow the refs don't call they don't call the play dead. They let it go on. I think the Giants players were like, damn, like, isn't he down? Like, this should be a sack or whatever. Protect the quarterback. And somehow I think the Patriots players, right? I think the Patriots players were thinking that. And somehow the Patriots defense probably thought he was gonna be down or ruled down or play stopped, and somehow Eli throws the ball in the air, and David Tyree, tight end from Michigan, go figure, catches a ball literally on the top of his helmet to where All-Pro, I think he was All-Pro at that time, Rodney Harrison could not defend the pass. We've seen some stuff like, I feel like that Rodney Harrison play is up there with the Jaquaski Tart drop interception play that was thrown. I feel like they up there. Notice how it always comes down to a safety too. But I'm saying that to say, after that year, you never heard David Tyree's name again. I think the script was that the Patriots had undefeated season. They were supposed to win that Super Bowl. David Tyree made a play. Now they still had to score after that, but to keep the drive alive was like how he doesn't catch. He caught that pass. So all I'm saying is 2008 Super Bowl, whatever that number is, perfect. You could have just wrote it in regular numbers, My Roman numeral reading is off right at this point. But my whole point is I think he went against the script, and I think he paid the ultimate price because his career went down the drain. We're talking about David Tyree. We're talking about Super Bowl champion David Tyree. Now, I'm not going to get into the Vegas stuff. That's not my thing. I'm just here to watch football. Is it rigged? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section as well. You know what I'm saying? And, feel free to let me know. Let's switch the script a little bit since we're talking about switching the script. Let's talk about Myles Garrett. All-Pro. Defensive Player of the Year. Former Defensive Player of the Year. All-Pro. Myles Garrett has requested, ladies and gentlemen, a trade. He's requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns. We got to talk about this. Here's his statement right here. He says, as a kid dreaming of the NFL, all I focused on was the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl. And that goal fuels me today more than ever. My love for the community of Northeast Ohio and the incredible fan base of the Cleveland Browns has made this one of the toughest decisions of my life. These past 8 years have shaped me into the man that I am today. While I loved calling this city my home, my desire to win and compete on the biggest stages won't allow me to be complacent. The goal was to never go from Cleveland to Canton. It has always been to compete and win a Super Bowl, excuse me. With that in mind, I've requested to be traded from the Cleveland Browns. Sign yours truly, Myles Garrett. This is huge news for the NFL because I don't know, man. Myles is smart because you got the NFL trade deadline stuff going on right now, right? And the NFL trade deadline is, if I'm not mistaken, this upcoming Thursday. Adam, what's going on, baby? And so the NFL trade line is going down, and you got the big blockbuster trade in the NBA. The NBA trade deadline, is going down. You got the blockbuster trade in the NBA, and you got another blockbuster trade with De'Aaron Fox. And now Myles Garrett puts this out. Now, it's going to cost. Now, I know a lot of people want to know, like, you know, me personally, I hit up John. I sent him a text message. I said, listen, John, you know, normally I don't direct or tell you what to do, but this is a no-brainer, okay? And so you have to get on the phone. You have to see how much it costs, and you got to start taking money from this bank to this bank and from that bank to this bank and transfer your funds from the checking to the savings and the savings to the checking from this bank. And whatever it is you got to do as far as money-wise, make sure that's straight, and then whatever pieces is going to cost, you might want to go after. I'm all in on trading for Myles Garrett. I know a lot of people probably be like, what? Why? No. Yes. No. Huh? What are you talking about? Can't afford them. Let me just tell you this. Please, for the love of God, stop saying we can't afford players. That's not how football works. You can afford anybody you want. It's called credit. It's called going into debt. It's called whatever it is. You ever want something, you just don't have the money for it, but there's a means to get it? That's what we do. That's what you do. Now, I'm thinking short term right now. I'm thinking all that type of stuff. But at this point, the Niners got to continue to find ways to be all in. The window is literally closing soon. It's not closed yet. So should the 49ers trade for Myles Garrett? Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if this is your first time watching, and become a member of the Breezy Bunch crew for sure. Myles Garrett would be what we need on the opposite side of Nick Bosa, because now that offense has no idea what to do. Now, I'm watching Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa play together, and it's one of the greatest things on earth, right? It's just one of the greatest things on earth. You got to find a complementary piece. And this is not a shot at Leonard Floyd, Yetur Gross-Matos, the guys that are going to be remaining here. It's not a shot at them, but they're not Myles Garrett. They're not Myles Garrett. They're not Myles Garrett. Let's just keep it a buck. They're not Myles Garrett. Felicia, yep, Breezy, it's time to finagle some ish so we can go get them. But listen, now look, I do mock draft shows, and y'all already know the player that we need to draft is Mike Green, edge rusher out of Marshall, hands down. That's an option. Now, that was literally plan A. That's an option. Now that has become plan B. No pun intended. But that's an option because now Myles Garrett is available. Now, Adam Schefter posted how this can potentially go down. Like it can cost. It's going to cost. I'm just going to keep it a buck. He talked about the trade with let's blow that up a little bit. He says a potential trade comparison. When 27-year-old Khalil Mack was traded from Oakland to Chicago, I just mentioned Khalil Mack name. Khalil Mack, ladies and gents, is also a free agent too, by the way. So that could be a plan C. I don't know. Anyway, the Bears gave up 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, and a 6th-round pick for Mack, a 2nd-round pick, and a conditional 5th-round pick. So they got a 2nd-round pick back and a conditional 5th. Conditional means if that player does something or whatever, it can be bumped up to maybe something higher than a fifth or whatever. But anyway, that's what the Bears got back. But they gave up 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick. And let me just be the first to say the San Francisco 49ers. Oh, what am I doing here? The San Francisco 49ers first-round picks have been terrible. Okay? Let me just be the first to say it. Now, we don't know about Ricky Pearsall yet, so I'm not going to include my man Ricky Pearsall. But let's look at the 49ers draft picks. And I'm going to read to you, since Kyle Shanahan has been here, and you tell me. They've only hit on one player. His name is Nick Bosa, and you know where I'm going with this. All right, so here we go. We got to go back to 2017, ladies and gents. First round pick, 2017, Solomon Thomas, Reuben Foster. Thumbs up, thumbs down. None of them are on this team anymore. Those were the first round picks, and we traded back up in the first round to get Reuben Foster. Now, if the Niners, you know what? I'll save that for another show. All right, thumbs up or thumbs down. Solomon Thomas, Reuben Foster. Matter of fact, the only player from that 2017 draft that's still on this team, there's 2 players, George Kittle and Trent Taylor. All right, 2018 first round pick, Mike McGlinchey. Thumbs up, thumbs down. 2019 first round pick, Nick Bosa. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I better not see one thumb down on Nick Bosa. I will remove you and ban you from this show. 2020, Javon Kinlaw. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay? Here we go. The trade that the 49ers made to move up, they gave up way more to me to get Trey Lance in 2021, but we all know this turned out to be a thumbs down. This might have been the worst draft for the San Francisco 49ers. This year, we're talking about in 2025. Y'all still with me? I can't see y'all. We're talking in 2025. This may be the first year the 49ers might not have any one of these players on their roster. Trey Lance, free agent, but he got traded to Dallas. Aaron Banks, free agent. Trey Sermon, cut. Ambry Thomas, cut. Jalen Moore, free agent. Diamador Lenore is the only person from this draft that the 49ers hit on. I got to give Diamador Lenore a round of applause. Dude turned out to be a stud. Talanoa Hufanga, free agent. Elijah Mitchell, free agent. So Diamador Lenore, and that's crazy, right? Because out of this draft, the 49ers got 1 All-Pro. He's about to be a free agent, and Diamador Lenore. But back to the first-round pick, Trey Lance, thumbs down. 2022. Remember, we traded our first-round pick this year, so we can't even talk about that draft. We didn't have a first-round pick in 2023, so we can't really talk about that draft. And finally, in 2024, we get Ricky Pearsall. I will say that the 49ers have bombed every first-round pick, which is 1, 2, let me just count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Niners have had 7. The Niners have had 7 first-round picks, and they've only gotten 1 right and 1 that could potentially be right. Do you understand what I'm saying? 1 that could potentially be right. I'm all in on Ricky Pearsall. Let me just keep it a buck. I think he's going to be a dynamic. If he can continue to progress, he's going to be a dynamic wide receiver for the 49ers. All in on him. But still, he still has to prove himself. He still has to prove himself. But hey, year 2, let's see what happens. Let's hope he doesn't go into the sophomore slump. At the end of the day, 1 for, can we say 1 for 6 and we won't count Ricky Pearsall? So, when you look at first-round picks, do you really need the first-round picks to be successful in the NFL? I mean, you want them. They help you contractually down the road. You can get the 5th-year option. They reset your kind of cap, whatever, as far as they go on that rookie scale salary type of thing. And you know what? The way the Niners are probably looking at this, I think the Niners really, if the Niners are all in, which they should be, but if the Niners are all in on this, they're looking at themselves saying, hey, man, it's first-round picks, and we plan to be in the Super Bowl, motherfucker. So, at the end of the day, it's going to be either pick 31 or pick 32. So, at the end of the day, it's really a second-round pick that you're getting, even though it's a first-round pick. So, I think the Niners are at this point where, hey, this makes perfect sense. Terradome, what's going on, baby? Ty, what's going on, my brother? So, you get what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it doesn't make sense. So, let's not hoist these first-round picks. Let's just say, at this moment, We're talking about a generational player. We're talking about a guy that competes every season on a losing team. I mean, they had that year that they beat us, their defense was phenomenal. Remember they beat us? And so we're talking about that guy, Myles Garrett, transcending player, first round pick. The Niners get 2 first. I'm cool. 2027, 2025, 2026, maybe back in 2027. First round in the 2027, that's cool. The question that you have to ask yourself, would you rather have Myles Garrett or take a chance on a Mike Green, if that's the guy that the Niners are in on? Don't worry about the money. I really feel like the money will work itself out. See, Parag and the money, they have ways of working themselves out. I'm not worried about the money, but you give me a guy. I got to look up Myles Garrett stats. I'm sorry. He's coming off of, first of all, he's coming off of a 14 sack season. So I want people to understand that he's still dominant, even on a team where they just can't get right. Okay. And they can't get right. They're bad coaching, bad organization, blah, 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 blah. All right. So again, sacks wise, it's the number I care about. Myles Garrett only had 1 year in the NFL. He'll be going into year 9. He only had 1 year in the NFL where he had less than 10 sacks. That was his rookie season. The 49ers need to be all in on Myles Garrett. 13.5 his second year, 10 third year, fourth year 12, fifth year 16, sixth year 16, seventh year 14, eighth year 14. You mean to tell me he went down in 2 sacks back-to-back years? He comes to San Francisco, and you got Nick Bosa on the other end. I didn't even mention who his other end was. He was just wrecking shop. This is a no-brainer. We got to stop worrying about how can we afford. That ain't for us to figure out. That's really up to the San Francisco 49ers, in my opinion. That's really up to the Niners. You get Myles Garrett and Nick Bosa, and you still got Leonard Floyd. You don't have to trade a play. First of all, let's stop trying to trade players. We got 32 free agents as it is. Let's stop trying to trade people. We need players, right? So at this point, in my opinion, these are my opinions. I don't want people to think I'm right. It's not end all be all from the Wayne Breezie. That's not how it works. I'm just guesstimating. If I'm John Lynch, I'm on the phone, and you got to make the best offer, because teams, first of all, he wants to go to a team to win a Super Bowl. So, yeah, there are going to be teams that are going to give the Cleveland Browns. Now, I don't know, does he have a no-trade clause and all that type of stuff? I can't tell you that as of right now. I have to really dig down into his contract situation, so I don't know. But I'm sure he won't play. He'll pull a BA. He won't play. He won't do that. He'll do whatever to go where he wants. He'll find a way to gain that type of power and leverage in his contract, is what I'm trying to say. 49ers need to be all in on Mike Garrett. This is not even a question. This is not even a whatever. I'm with Jax. Go get him now. Find a way to get him. That defensive line would be stout. Mark, what's going on, baby? He says, how many sacks did Hargrave have before joining us and we got hyped? I mean, Hargrave benefited from a defensive line with great edge rushers, and he had double-digit sacks. He had 10 sacks that year. This is not a free agent we're talking about. This is a defensive player of the year, all-pro, Pro Bowler, 2 different categories, bro. I don't know if that's what you were alluding to with this comment and whatnot, but come on, man. We're talking Myles Garrett, and we cannot compare Myles Garrett to Javon Hargrave. And I understand what you mean. We got hyped about the double-digit sacks. We thought we were going to get better in the middle for sure, but unfortunately, the bookends sucked. Now, this doesn't hurt. This help. Let me just talk about how this also would help the 49ers. This would help the 49ers because now Leonard Floyd becomes a pass rush specialist. Now he's not an every down player. Now he goes back to being the way he was and how he was dominant in the NFL his whole career, because he was used in certain situations. This helps. You still got Leonard Floyd. You still have your Torrey Gross-Matos. I think Drake Jackson would help you out this year. I think this will be the year Drake Jackson. The Niners will finally release the chains off of Drake Jackson. He's cheap. He doesn't cost the Niners any money. He'll end up, and that was his former second-round pick. I don't know. Maybe I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Again, let me know what you think in the comment section of the show. I would love to know for sure. Myles Garrett to the 49ers. Should the Niners make it happen? It's a hell yeah for your boy Breezy. No doubt. 100% make this happen. We are talking, whatever. This is, yeah, and then listen, like I said, this got to be plan A, plan B. Let's talk about some free agents. Make sure you hit that like button. Again, thank y'all for watching. Hit that like button for sure. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. All right. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure your alerts are set to all as well. And become a member of the Breezy Bunch crew. Help support the stream right here. Who should the 49ers go after in free agency? Let's get to it, baby. Now, look, I think the San Francisco 49ers, when it comes to the blaring needs, this is where you go in the free agency and you say, well, where can I get stronger where I'm weak? Where can I get stronger where I'm weakest? And I know a lot of people are looking for the 49ers to address the offensive line and the draft, and I'm with it for sure. You draft a piece or two. You got 10 picks. You're going to draft a player or two in the draft. But just being at the Senior Bowl and watching the best of the best. So the reason why I go to the Senior Bowl every year is because I get a chance to see the best of the best. Now, I understand there are other all-star games, but the cream of the crop play in the Senior Bowl. So I get to watch the best of the best go at it, one-on-ones. And there's some players out there, but I just don't feel like none of them are first-round picks. And so with the 49ers, picking at 11, they need to sit and say to themselves, okay, where can we get better on the offensive line? And the first position that I think that they need to address on the offensive line is the center position. It's like they gotta go center. This is what they wait. They wait. I just heard something I just learned something today, and I don't know why I'm just learning this. Y'all know how high I was on Creed Humphrey. I wanted Creed Humphrey. Y'all know that, right? I wanted Creed Humphrey. I realize now why a lot of teams didn't pick Creed Humphrey on today. Like I was today years old. Creed Humphrey been in the league for a few years. Can y'all guess what that was? Can you guess what I learned about Creed Humphrey and probably why he was passed over so many teams? I tell you, he's left-handed. And I was like, is that really a problem? I mean, is Patrick Mahomes left-handed? If so, it makes perfect sense. But at the end of the day, a left-handed center hiking to a right-handed quarterback could cause problems. Now, I don't know if he could have learned how to snap with his other hand. I don't know. But I know a lot of teams in the league are like, dang it, I can't believe we passed up on this kid. But I think that's why. And, that's why I go to Senior Bowl. A lot of these traits stick out. A lot of these traits make certain people short arms. They're not going to play tackle in the NFL. Left-handed center hiking to a right-handed quarterback, not going to work. It's crazy, right? So I love Creed Humphrey, but there's a center out there right now. His name is Drew Dalman from the Atlanta Falcons. He will be a free agent, and I really do like the San Francisco 49ers actually targeting a center. Now, there's several centers that are available. I'm looking at the list of centers that will be available. But I also pay attention to the age, because if you're going to sign a free agent, you want somebody that's going to be youthful so they can grow with the offensive line. It would be an immediate upgrade, in my opinion. Immediate upgrade. But here's a list of the free agents. You know what? I could just share this with you. And so I think it's important, that the San Francisco 49ers figure out like which centers would fit them the best. Ryan Kelly, Coleman Shelton, Wes Schweitzer, Nick Harris, Evan Brown, Liam Eichenberg, Tristan Colon, Josh Myers from the Packers. He would be one. They run the system with the 49ers. And so you got to look at which players would be system fits as well. Okay? Kendrick Green, Corey Levin, Sam Mustipher, Nick Gates from the Eagles, Bradley Bozeman from the Chargers. I feel like they're going to bring him back. Drew Dalman from the Falcons. All right. Shane Lameau from the Saints, Ryan Uziel from the Falcons, Brendan James, Chargers, Ben Brown, Ryan McCullum, Doug Kramer, Dylan McCannon, and then Jimmy Morsi from the Giants. He has been signed. Now, we got to focus on these guys that are UFAs, the unrestricted free agents, all right? And so, like, when you're looking at stuff like this, unrestricted means that the Niners can have the opportunity. The team doesn't own their rights. The restricted free agents mean the teams own their rights. And the earned restricted free agents mean those are players that got signed. They earned a contract from the team. So they earned their contract coming off the practice squad. So let's go to Drew Dalman. He would be the target. He's got to be offensively. Defensively, the Niners need to target Dre Greenlaw. Offensively, they need to target Drew Dalman because the blaring need on the offensive line is going to be the center position, especially if you're going to go with Spencer Burford at left guard. You know, you're not going to probably bring back Aaron Banks because if I had to pick between Aaron Banks and Ben Barch, please sign Ben Barch, re-sign Ben Barch. We'll talk about re-sign free agents as well for the San Francisco 49ers on a different episode. But if I'm going after any player, it's got to be the kid Drew Dalman from the Atlanta Falcons. Drew Dalman, just hold on, let me get his stats up here. All right, so he played 554 snaps on last season. 554 snaps on last season. His grades overall 78.8 per PFF because, you know, they grade every single snap. Definitely a good run blocker, decent pass protector, best graded game. He had two of them that were over 80. They were both against, they were both against two teams that the 49ers, you know, struggle with or have lost to. Philadelphia Eagles, Minnesota Vikings. And I'm talking great games against those top tier defenses. He had great games last season against those top tier defenses. And those defenses are only great. This is why he's got to be the target number one. Get me Drew Dalman first and foremost. Get me this cat out of Stanford. Did he play? He's drafted in 2021, so he missed Christian McCaffrey. That was with Stanford. But get me this cat out of Stanford. He's a smart kid. And this is where the Niners might have to get into some type of a bidding war. I'm not sure if the Atlanta Falcons will be looking to re-sign him or bring him back, but there's going to be other teams out there that's going to offer. But he would be the perfect fit because they run the Kyle Shanahan system over there, right? Like, they haven't changed much of their system. And so Drew Dalman would be the perfect catalyst for the 49ers offensive line. Kyle Shanahan's system works based off of the center, especially if we doing this outside zone. That's why we don't see a lot of it anymore. Jake Brendel isn't the athletic guy, right? He's not athletic. He's trying, but he's not athletic. And so if you don't have the athleticism to play center, that's why there's specific guys that fit Kyle Shanahan's system. When he got here, he went and signed free agent Weston Richburg, from the Giants. Unfortunately, injuries didn't work. Then we struggled with the center position. We struggled. We did. Let's keep it a buck. Then he went and got, oh my gosh, the center from Atlanta Falcons, right? We went and got him. And then he retired on us. I don't think Kyle Shanahan expected him to retire at any point, but he did. And then we've been playing the game with the makeshift center. I think if the 49ers upgrade the center position, the offensive line will get that much better. This does not mean that they're not going to draft offensive linemen, so please don't take what I'm saying out of context, but start with the key piece to the run game. You get the center that fits, your run game is back intact. You can do outside zone, you can do power runs, all of that stuff comes back. He's a great run blocker, 79.8 grade. I'll take that. As far as pressures, because people are probably like, well, has he given up any sacks? He has given up 2 sacks per PFF. They might have been half sacks. They might not have been all on him, but he gave up a sack against the Steelers, and he also gave up a sack against the Chargers. We were just talking about Khalil Mack and those guys, right? 1 hit So he doesn't really let his quarterback get hit, and only 7 hurries. So a total of 10 pressures is what he did in 2024 from the Atlanta Falcons. So for me, if I'm Kyle Shanahan, I'm going to John Lynch, and I'm saying, John, get me this kid. I need him. Let's make it happen. And I think the 49ers need to go out and target. Any other free agents you guys feel that the 49ers should target? And let's think of free agents. But target number 1 from the opposing teams needs to be, in my opinion, the center position. That's the only piece they really need. They're going to go get a wide receiver. They're probably going to get wide receiver for sure. Wide receiver T. Higgins is a free agent. I've been talking about. Check out that episode that I did. Now, I'm not saying that the 49ers are even interested with T. Higgins, but why not entertain it? Why not see how much it's going to cost? Because T. Higgins would elevate the offense on a whole nother level. Now, a lot of people feel like you got to trade Deebo Samuel. Why? A lot of people feel like you got to trade Brandon Ayuk. Why? A lot of people feel like they can't have these receivers. Now, I know you don't want to pay 2 or 3 receivers, but let's just talk about that real quick. Deebo Samuel contract expires after this year. Juwan Jennings contract expires after this year. You'll have 2 expiring contracts at the wide receiver position. The 49ers backload the money on these contracts anyway, so they don't hit the salary cap right away. So why not go after a guy like T. Higgins, who will come immediately, whether he's the number 1 receiver, number 2, number 3, it doesn't matter. I feel like it's positionless here with the San Francisco 49ers because the job is to be able to block and get open. And that's the 2 things that I know T. Higgins does very well. He blocks, he gets open. We don't know what's going to be the deal with Brandon Ayuk going into the next season. He's coming off the injury. We're not going to rush that back or rush him back. He's under contract. He's going to be here for a while. There's no reason to rush him back. That's why you might want to go after this guy. Also, we don't know what Ricky Pearsall is going to do, and you can give him time to progress. You got him in the first round, and you're going to probably get him with the 5th-year option. So there's still time. He's not going to get paid. The Niners have options to do certain things. So I know a lot of people don't want T. Higgins. I know a lot of people don't want that because they feel like there's too many, mouths to feed. Hey, that's the key to the game, baby. The more mouths you have to feed, the less guys they got cover, man. You got to keep thinking this is chess, not checkers. I'm going to keep telling people that. All right, chess, not checkers. Mark says, T. Higgins or Myles Garrett? Both? One's a free agent, one you trade for. One's going to cost you some picks. The other one, you're just going to cough up some cash. You know what I mean? So why not both? Why not both? That's my thing. Those will be, look, if I'm the San Francisco 49ers, and then there are other receivers out there that are available. The Niners usually do bring in a veteran type of receiver, but I don't want just a vet. We did the vet thing. We did the Chris Conley thing. He couldn't get open. T. Higgins could get open. Open. And so that red zone threat, and then I remember I posted this on Instagram. And on Instagram, someone said, I'm not gonna call him out, but he said, he doesn't finish seasons, which is true. He doesn't finish the seasons. Neither do the 49ers wide receivers that we have. But I will break down that his first 2 years, he's got 2 16 games. He's been in the league for 5 years. He's got 2 seasons where he completed 16 games. 1 season he completed 12 games, and the other 2 seasons at 14 games. I'll take it. Sounds like every 49er wide receiver that we have, including the tight end, who's missed seasons, who's missed games. So at the end of the day, why not upgrade the wide receiver position? The one thing I know about Kyle Shanahan is that's his position. So I would not be surprised if Kyle Shanahan doesn't try to target a wide receiver in free agency. Stephon Diggs is the number 1 wide receiving free agent at this point. It's Diggs, it's Higgins, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin. Those are your top 5 wide receiver free agents. So will Kyle Shanahan look to bring one of those guys back? I don't know. Any other positions you feel like the San Francisco 49ers should go ahead and look at? I think they stay away from the defensive guys because there's so many players you can draft. You know what I mean? So many players you can draft. I think the 49ers will stay away from defensive ends. As far as linebackers, I think they really try to bring their guy back. I do. I think they try to bring Dre Greenlaw back. But if not, let me give you my options who I think would be good options for the San Francisco 49ers at the linebacking position. All right. And then you guys can tell me what you think. All right. So let me go ahead and pull this up. All right. For linebackers, this is who I have available. The freak. All right. So you got some top older dogs available at the linebacking spot. Top older dogs. We got to pause real quick because we got a super chat contribution from my brother Sean. In the money, says lies. My super chats put us over the top. T. Higgins would give us the best. Wait a minute. I didn't expect. I've gotten so many declined, calling me stupid, whatever compliments. I didn't think I would get anybody to agree. T. Higgins would give us the best wide receiver we had since Anquan Bolden. Other than Debo's strong years, Debo was naturally gifted. Too bad he didn't embrace conditioning until he was washed. Now, I disagree with the bottom part, but thank you so much, Sean, for the super chat contribution. I don't think Debo was washed. I think Debo was misutilized. It's a big difference between being washed and misutilized. If you put Debo back into where he was successful, you need to go out there and get a wide receiver like T. Higgins. I would say that. And this will force defenses. This is what Mike Lombardi was talking about, while this would probably be the perfect scenario. This is what he said, not misquoting him. It would be the perfect scenario for T. Higgins to go to because we have players like Debo Samuel. You have players like Brandon Ayuk. You have players like George Kittle. You have players like Christian McCaffrey. That's why he feels this would be the perfect scenario for T. Higgins to want to go to. Sean, I do appreciate you for the super chat contribution, my brother. Thank you so much. All right, linebackings. Look, Levante David, Bobby Wagner. Why not go after Bobby Wagner? I'm trying to figure out why not go after Bobby Wagner. Somebody help me out. I don't care if he's 35 going on 37. Why not go after Bobby Wagner? He continues to he's the Pro Bowler, all pro. He continues year in, year out to be in the best condition. Can you imagine Bobby Wagner lined up next to Fred Warner? Let's have some fun with it. Bobby Wagner or Dre Greenlaw? Who you want on your team? And keep it honest. Bobby Wagner, Dre Greenlaw. Put it in the chat. I'm posting. I don't care if he's old. He's an old-ass Pro Bowl, all-pro player. We talking 2025, 2024 season? He's a Pro Bowl player. I just watched him on TV. I did. Bobby Wagner or Greenlaw? Let's see what we got. We got a Greenlaw. My brother Drew over on Facebook, Greenlaw. Okay. All right. Bobby Wagner, Dre Greenlaw. Got another Dre Greenlaw. Okay. We got another Dre Greenlaw. Okay. We talk about a guy that doesn't get injured, that plays the mic, that plays coverage. Fred can go into the Dre Greenlaw role. Oh, my God. If Fred switched to the Greenlaw role, he would have 10 double-digit interceptions. Finally, somebody that I think is using the other part of their brain. Boat says Wagner. I love Greenlaw. I think they both will cost a pretty penny. I think you can work on a better deal to get a guy like Bobby Wagner. I don't think Bobby Wagner would come to San Francisco, but I would shoot my shot. I would shoot the shot. I would shoot the shot. Niner Goat 16. Bobby Wagner got killed against the run later in the year. Greenlaw, you think so? I don't know how he all pro then. If he got killed against the run, somebody tell me how he making the Pro Bowl, because Pro Bowl players don't get killed against the run. This dude was number 2 in tackles next to guess who? Who had the most tackles? Fred Warner had the most tackles. All right, let me look it up. Who led the NFL in tackles? This is a super simple question. Super simple question. In 2024, actually, it wasn't Fred Warner. Whoops, I'm wrong. It was Zaire Franklin from the Indianapolis Colts. Bobby Wagner is the leader in combined tackles from a long period of time. 2023. I don't want 2023. I want, let me put it in 2024. Let me be specific. It's a good question. I'm just curious. I just want to know, dang, Zaire Franklin killed it. All right. Stat leaders. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Defensive leaders, tackles. Let's go here. Let's just take a look. That's postseason. I don't want postseason. I want regular season. All right, here we go. Total tackles. We're talking about combined tackles, and then we'll do solo tackles. All right. So combined tackles was Zaire Franklin from the Colts. Fred Warner on that list was 19th. Guess who Fred Warner is behind? I don't make this stuff up. I don't make this stuff up. He's behind Bobby Wagner. Just saying that. Solo tackles. That's where we're going. All right. So top 5 solo tackles. Hey, you guys, there's options. So my options for linebackers, I definitely would entertain the Bobby Wagner thing, but why not get a guy that Robert Saleh is familiar with if Dre Greenlaw doesn't re-sign? Jamian Sherwood, 98 solo tackles, led the league in tackles. 98 solo tackles, Jamian Sherwood. And there's a potential, there's something going on that's developing that the Niners could be looking at, acquiring him in free agency. So I just want y'all to understand that there's some options out there if Greenlaw doesn't pan through. I just want to see where Fred Warner is. Fred Warner is 21 in solo tackles, and guess who he's ahead of, which is at 22. Bobby Wagner. You can't make this up. Shout out to Jax for gifting out there to the memberships, man. I appreciate you, Jax. Thank you for supporting the channel as well. Super chat contribution from my brother Sean. He says Debo would come in fat all the time. He didn't have moves. His style was to break tackles. What we are seeing as far as production, I believe, is due to lack of conditioning. And those 2 seasons he was on fire took a lot. Could be, Sean. I disagree. I think he's just misutilized or overutilized. Does that make sense? Is that a word? Overutilized? Is that a thing? I think he was used improperly. Debo came in, he was never set out to be a true number 1 wide receiver. And because of that, I think, you know what I'm saying? This year he had to be that. Like, he had to be, even though he didn't play the X role, that was Jawan Jennings earned that role, but he still was asked to do things that I just felt like that's not really Debo's style. We didn't really utilize him in this style. And I'm not talking about as a running back. Go back and watch and check out the percentage of screenplays. You barely seen them. We didn't run any screens. And then when we did run them, they blew them up. So it was just like, I just felt like the offense was just off, period, and awful. You know what I'm saying? Sean Shepard says, no, Elijah Mitchell conditioned well. A 1 hard year ruined him. Now, you know what? I do like this comment because I said earlier that, look at what happened to Christian McCaffrey. And so that's why you got to lighten up. You got to get guys to come in here, compliment these players, so that they can last, that could be durable. Football's a long season. Christian McCaffrey might have been the only 49er, other than offensive lineman, right? Like, special player that I felt like played 17 games. He played all 17 games, and then the playoffs the year we went to the Super Bowl, right? I felt like he came in the last game, tried to break a record, and then they took him out. So I felt like he played in it. But, I mean, was he overworked? Did that hurt his body in the long run? I don't know. But that's why, conditioning or not, football season is long. Got to find a way to, whatever. Now, listen, this is not me saying I don't want Dre Greenlaw. You already got a show saying that he's priority number 1. He's got to be priority number 1. But there's some other options at the linebacking position. Give me one more position before we dig up out of here. We talked about the center position. We also talked about the linebacking position. I feel like those are a couple of holes. We even talked about the wide receiving position as well. Is there any other? How about we talk about the quarterback position? The quarterback position. All right. Let's talk about the quarterback position. Okay. Oh, safety. You want to talk about safety? 805 Blackbird says safety. Listen, man, I'm all for signing a safety if the right one is available. You got some older guys. Justin Simmons is a free agent. I don't know why we didn't go after Justin Simmons last year. Jeremy Chin is a free agent with the Commanders. Julian Blackmon had ties to the Niners. The safety position may be where the Niners go. And this could be why they don't bring back Talanoa Hufanga. Now you could go out there and you can get a safety that can come in here and do the things you need to be done. Now, I'm looking at the safeties like Jordan Fuller from the Panthers. And don't forget that the San Francisco 49ers are interviewing this week defensive backs coach D'Angelo Hall from where? The Panthers. The Panthers. And who's a free agent? Jordan Fuller. And it's something about them Fuller boys. They could play football. He could be an option. Don't like Quandre Diggs. Don't think we need that type of a safety. Javon Holland, I did like him coming out of Georgia. He's a free agent and he's young. I'm trying to tell you, man, there's some free agents. Chuck Clark. Don't sleep on Chuck Clark. Chuck Clark from the Jets. Robert Saleh guy. Could be a position. This is actually, I'm glad you mentioned safety. Jax, I see you say quarterback will do that to cap off the show for sure. But there's some guys. Marcus May from the Chargers. He's a little older. I think with the safeties, you want to make sure you're still in that young range. And you got to find a safety that can cover, that can run. Which safeties still have speed. Xavier Woods is available. I don't know if people want to take an option on him. I know he's a little bit older. You get Xavier Woods. Remember the premier safety? He was with the Panthers. This D'Angelo Hall piece, moving piece, could mean something for the 49ers in the long run. Let's just take a quick look at quarterbacks. I'm going to put this out there for you to decide if this is something you would do. All right. Now, for quarterbacks, I'm all for competition. What if the 49ers? The 49ers have an option. They have an opportunity. It's more what I would like to say. The 49ers have an opportunity to bring in here Zach Wilson. They have an opportunity to bring back Trey Lance. They have an opportunity to bring in Mac Jones. What if the 49ers bring in one of those three quarterbacks? And I'm sorry, my bad. How can I leave off my man from the Steelers? Oh my gosh, where is he? They have an opportunity to bring in all the quarterbacks that they could have drafted that year. That is crazy. Actually, I don't see him as a free agent. Oh yeah, Justin Fields. Damn, all the Steelers quarterbacks are free agents. The 49ers have an opportunity to bring in all of those guys. If you can pick one of those guys, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, or Trey Lance, and I'm going to poll this. If you could pick one of those guys to bring in here to compete, who would you pick? All right? Felicia, I think you were saying Justin Fields. I couldn't think of his name off the top of my head, but I don't know if that's who you would go with. Let me know if that's who you would go with. Nice. I think he's talking about Justin Fields, the guy from Pittsburgh. Yep, we talk about Justin Fields for sure. Let's see. That would be something very, very interesting. Jack says bring back Trey Lance. You know what I mean? I like that. I actually like that. Why not? Why not bring him back? He won't cost you any money. He already knows he's a backup. He's not going to really compete with Brock. But you have a guy that can do probably what Josh Dobbs did. Right? That was the whole point. You got Trey Lance in here. You drafted him. He can run the read option. We saw it with Josh Dobbs. Maybe that's a place that goes. A bigger guy. I don't know. Look, I'm not the only person that thinks like this. See, Jax, bring Trey back and let him develop. Justin Fields. I like that. A lot of Justin Fields. Now, the rumor going on out there is that the 49ers might be in on a seasoned vet. Now, if they do go after Drew Lock, if they do go after seasoned vet Joe Flacco, all right, 40-year-old quarterback, if they do go after him, that's letting me know that the 49ers are all in on Brock Purdy. There won't be any type of competition. If anything was to happen to Brock Purdy, they have a suffice answer to back him up with a guy like Joe Flacco. I wouldn't be mad if they went after like Joe Flacco, Jameis Winston, those type of guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Give me one of those type of dudes. If you're going to be all in on Brock Purdy. So if they do, that could be something really cool. Like, you know what I mean? That could be something really cool. A lot of people are like, hell no for Trey Lance. Look at that. Hell no. Look, he isn't developed. He isn't developed. And he's not developing in Dallas. He didn't develop. The 49ers didn't have time to develop him here. But like I said, he could do. You can't tell me that Trey Lance can't do what Josh Dobbs did. Y'all can miss me with that. We watched him. We watched him in the preseason. We watched him run. We watched him score in the goal line. He can do what Josh Dobbs did. So and I think Trey Lance is better than Brandon Allen. I don't give what anybody says. Yeah, you can miss me with that. But if they go with Flacco, I'm done. You guys are crazy. This could be the year of the comebacks for sure. You know what I'm saying? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much for tuning in to the live Wayne Breezie show. I do appreciate you so much. Shout out to all the supporters out there, all the super chat contributions out there as well. Sean ended the show with the last one, so I wanted to hit him off. Don't make me send you Only Sean. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you. Appreciate the super chats. For those that are listening, man, make sure you go ahead and let everybody know about the podcast and how they can get it, grab it, share it, flip it, smack it, all that good stuff, man. You guys are amazing. Make sure you guys keep it faithful to the Bay. I know it's a long off season. It's Super Bowl week. Everybody's rooting for the Eagles, right? Because the Chiefs cheat. Period. End of discussion. All root for the Eagles. All right. Love you guys, man. I'll see you guys on the next show. Peace out. Thank you all for your support here on the Wayne Breezie channel. If you're new, make sure you click on that subscribe button. Don't forget to smash the like button and check out the other videos. Thanks for watching.